Yesterday we discussed how with the practice of mindfulness, noting every arising of these mind-body formations, which are called the truth of suffering, dukkha satya, as they arise and pass away. With the practice, with the method of Satipatthana, we are bound to develop mindfulness and concentration. And as we develop, as I say, mindfulness and deepen our concentration, we are bound to see the individual or specific characteristics of these materiality and mentalities. And as we proceed in our practice, as we progress, with the strengthening of mindfulness and deepening of concentration, we will see not just the individual characteristic, but also seeing the universal or common characteristics such as impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. These are the common or universal characteristics of materiality and mentality. So every time you practice this mindfulness, you are cultivating knowledge in a clear-cut manner, with full understanding, with full discernment, meticulously. So every time we are understanding this, knowing this, we are said to be accomplishing what is known as the function of, or the task of prajna, full understanding. So in this way, with this practice, knowing the arising and passing away of mind-body objects, we will no more hold the view of permanence, no more view of pleasure. Hence, we will overcome the sensuous craving, sensuous clinging by way of sensual pleasures, enjoyment of sensual pleasures, and view clinging by way of holding the view of self. So, by knowing this, we are said to be abandoning or overcoming this craving, Tanha. So we also said that with this we are accomplishing the purpose of abandonment or overcoming, Pahana. Tanha means craving for pleasurable things, wishing to enjoy pleasurable sights, sounds, taste, touch, and so on. And not only that, you want to enjoy better and better ones, better and better, more and more pleasurable things. Such is Tanha. It means it's just like reaching out. Your hand, you want something, because you want something, you reach out to it with your hand. So it is in that nature. So this will lead to craving. Everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to endure suffering. That is the nature of all beings. Now, the root cause for craving, Tanha, is not knowing the true nature of mind and body. Not being able to cultivate this knowledge called anicca nupassana jnana, or the inside knowledge of impermanence, the contemplation of impermanence. Because one is not seeing the unsatisfactory nature, one holds a view of satisfactoriness, which leads to craving, Tanha. Thinking that whatever you see here, taste, touch, all your enjoyments are good, pleasurable, because you don't see that they are oppressing you. So long as you don't see these unsatisfactory nature of these objects, you will hold the view of pleasure in things seen, heard, and so on. So you crave for them. Such is Tanha. So, and then not knowing the elemental nature, that is, they are just a process. They are mere process. There's no person, being, individual, you, he, I, man, woman, and so on. They are just not knowing that they are just mind-body process. You hold the view of self or soul, the presence of self or soul, Atta. And also that this Atta is connected with the great Brahma, Creator, Paramatta, Paramatta, the Supreme Being. Supreme Being is commanding the individual self or soul to act, to see, hear, taste, touch, and so on. So all these things are the view of self or soul. This leads to craving. Because you hold the view, you cling to the view of permanence, satisfactoriness, and self, you crave for pleasurable things. But as you go on practicing this mindfulness of every arising, cultivating this knowledge of the true nature of these objects such as impermanence and so on, then you will be free, or you will be free from this view of self, view of permanence, view of satisfactoriness, and view of self. You will be free from that such kind of view. Because you have that view, wrong view, you will crave Tanha. And when you see the opposite of that, that is the characteristic of impermanence and so on, there won't be any craving. Because you have not cultivated this knowledge, you crave. Now you are practicing mindfulness and knowing the true nature of the things. As you go on knowing, there will be no Tanha, no craving. You are said to have abandoned or overcome craving. When we say abandon or overcome craving, means not allowing, not giving them, or not giving it a chance to arise in your stream of consciousness. By not giving a chance, you are said to abandon, overcome. Such is accomplishing the function of abandonment, overcoming, pahana. So, in this way, yogi will be able to validate with his or our own practice with what is said in the text. So, with the practice, you are bound to realize the result, which is blameless. You are bound to get pleasure, good, wholesome results. Because you are seeing the truth, and such is seeing the truth. The practice to see the truth is crucial. You will come to a confirmation, because you can validate this text, this theory with your own practical experience. If you are able to weaken this craving and ignorance, two kinds of ignorance, simple unknowing and knowing wrongly, then you are said to have accomplished this purpose also. This is very important. So long as you are able to note and know the arising object, every arising object, you are seeing the truth. When you see the truth, you won't see anything wrong. There will be no wrongly knowing, no misconception. You'll be seeing the truth. You'll see the right thing. Only when in the unknowing that you grasp. Knowing mind relinquishes. That is the fixed law. If you do not practice mindfulness of every arising mind-body objects with the method of Satipatthana, You are able to do that, you are able to practice mindfulness of every arising with the method of Satipatthana. You are able to overcome this Tanha, craving. Can there be Upadana, clinging? The answer is no. The Tanha is craving, and Upadana is clinging, strong craving, or clinging, or grasping. As for the Tanha, craving, you have not grasped the object which you want as yet. You are just reaching out to the object. You have not grasped the object as yet. It is only the stage of craving or longing for the object that you want. Once you grasp that object, you don't want to let go. You don't want to relinquish it. Such is the stage of clinging or grasping, Upadana. So, the weak form of longing or craving is known as Tanha, a very weak form, which can lead to strong form of craving as you grasp the object. This is Tanha, strong form of powerful craving. If there is no craving, because you are noting the true nature, seeing the true nature of things, there cannot be. If there is no weak form of craving, there cannot be also a strong form of craving. Strong form of craving can also will not arise. So if you are able to practice mindfulness precisely, meticulously, seeing the individual or specific characteristic of mind, body, and their causal mode, and the universal characteristics, if you are able to understand the individual characteristic and also the common characteristic of mind, body, you will come to see that all things are just a process. They are just characteristics, they are elements. They have no atta, self or soul in it, no essence in it. They are essenceless because they are just a process. There is no essence in it. In this case, you will not hold the view or wrong view. There will be no wrong view. Deity will not come to you. It will not enter your stream of consciousness because you are practicing with the correct method. You are able to suppress or subdue or overcome the afflictive emotions which are hot, afflictive elements. In this way, you come to understand that this practice is the correct practice to overcome these afflictive emotions, afflictive elements. So there will be no weak form of Tanha, neither the weak form nor the strong form of craving. And then also there will be no view clinging, no holding view, no view of self or soul, because you are undertaking the correct practice. So since you know that this is the correct practice, which leads to the real peace and happiness, you will not believe in the wrong rites and rituals. That there are other rites and rituals besides this which can lead to the highest bliss. So there will be no Upadana, no clinging or grasping. You are free of craving, you are free of Tanha, you are free because you see the truth, you are free of Avijja. Seeing the truth means you are not seeing the wrong things. There is no Avijja, you will be free from Avijja. Free means by not giving a chance to rise in the stream of consciousness. you are said to abandon both Tanha and Upadana, craving and grasping. In this way, the triple round, which is composed of Avijja, Tanha, Upadana, ignorance, craving and clinging, which is known as Kilesa Vata, the round of defilements, is said to be cut off. If we are not able to practice mindfulness of every arising, mind and body, which are dukkha satya, truth of suffering, at the moment of the arising, we will not be able to understand its individual or specific characteristic, nor the common characteristics, universal characteristics, which will thus be led to avijja, ignorance. And as we have discussed, ignorance of two kinds, simple unknowing and knowing in the wrong way. So since you are seeing the wrong thing, you see that you will hold the view of pleasure in all the things that you experience, then there is bound to be this tanha, craving. Craving will arise, which will lead to a strong form of craving, namely upadana, clinging. So whatever you do based on this craving and clinging by body, speech and mind, whether good or bad, because you think that by doing this you're going to be able to enjoy pleasures, whether it's kusala or akusala. If you do wholesome things, then there will be wholesome results. And if you do unwholesome things, unwholesome results, because there are these chedana, motivated actions involved. So whatever you do for worldly happiness, worldly pleasures, you will be rotating. You'll be rotating the round of, turning around the wheel of this kilesa vata, the round of defilements, which are made up of avijja, tanha, upadana. The avijja, tanha, upadana called a round of defilements, kilesa vata, leading to worldly pleasures if you are doing something good. So, in this case, with the practice of mindfulness, you are not working for the worldly pleasures. In fact, you are working to be liberated from the suffering of round of existence. So, in this case, it will not lead to worldly happiness or worldly results. Even if you do wholesome deeds to lead you to rotate, to traverse from the round of existence, not to speak of doing unwholesome deeds which will degrade you, then you will fall into lower places, lower destinies. So all these things which ordinary wholesome deeds or unwholesome deeds lead to the round of existences, whether they are wholesome deed or unwholesome deed. Now you are not performing these deeds to lead you to the round of existence. They are not given a chance to arise. They are ceased to exist. Because these worldly pleasures, as a result of kusala or akusala, have no guarantee, no security. So, with this practice is to cut off this round of defilements. So in this way, the avijja, tanha, upadana, which is called a round of defilement, is said to be cut off. Only when you perform actions which will not lead you to the round of existence will you be able to cut off this round of defilements, so that there will be no new existences, no new becoming. You are cutting off the round of defilements, avijja, tanha, upadana, so that there won't be any new existences. They will cease to exist. So you are practicing this Vipassana in order to lead to this stage, to reach this stage. But at this point, with the practice of insight, Vipassana, you are reaching only the momentary extinction or cessation, Tanga, Nirodha. As you are practicing mindfulness of every arising, which are called Dukkha Satya, the truth of suffering, for the practice of Satipatthana, you are being mindful and fully aware. This is overcoming, letting the Dukkha Satya cease to exist, reaching the cessation of Dukkha Satya, the truth of suffering. And also, the truth of the origin also will cease to exist. What is important is for the Dukkha Satya to cease to exist on a temporary, momentary basis, Vanga, Nirodha. As we have just discussed, to explain it from the theoretical aspects as given in the text, about the round of defilements. The first one is Kilesa Vata, the triple round. About the triple round, the first one is Kilesa Vata, round of defilement. We start with the round of defilement. Then the second one is Kama Vata, the round of actions. And the third one is Vipaka Vata, the round of results. So Vata means it's a round like a wheel rotating continuously in a cause-effect process. The process of cause-effect which is rotating. Here we have these three things, Kilesa, defilements, Kama, action, and Vipaka, the results of the actions. These three things. They rotate as a round. Because of the defilements, based on the defilements, we perform actions. That means because we don't know, we crave, we perform actions leading to Kama, from Kilesa to Kama. Because we are not being able to practice the mindfulness of every arising with our Dukkha Satya, truth of suffering, we are not seeing the truth, we are seeing wrong things. As we have said, unknowing mind clings. Because we don't know the truth, we are led to Avijja, Upadana, ignorance, craving and clinging, which leads to the round of defilements. The round of defilement is made up of Avijja, Upadana, ignorance, craving and clinging. As a result, based on this Kilesa Vata, which is made up of Avijja, Upadana, we perform actions, good or bad, Kama. Sometimes we perform good things, sometimes we perform bad things, which leads to our round of actions, Kama Vata. And this Kama Vata, when we do something good, we get good results. When you do something bad, we get bad results. Two kinds of results, initial result and continuing results. So, because of these actions, the round will go on in the form of this mind-body process. This will go on rotating as new existences as a result of our actions. There will be new mind-body, existence of mind and body, or new existences, starting from the stage of conception in the mother's womb. And at that very moment of conception, we inherit, or as an inherent possession, we possess, or we have these two things, Avijja, Tanha. They come along with the conception, with us at the stage of conception, as elements, ignorance and craving. So, because these things, with this craving and ignorance about mind-body dhammas, we hold the view of, we begin to hold the view of permanence, pleasure and self. Again, going wrong. And this leads to this ignorance, again to ignorance, to Tanha, craving, it about Avijja, Tanha, Upadana. With this, based on this defilement, the round of defilement, we are led to the round of karma again. Coming back again to the round of karma actions. Actions, we perform actions, good or bad, leading to results again, results of actions in the form of new existences, new beings. Then in this way, it goes round and round. It rotates like a fan above you. So to give an analogy so as to convince you about this round of existence, the triple round, let us say, we take the example of a tree. It has its roots. Now the root goes round, goes and penetrates the soil to get all the nutrients, and so that from the root all the nutrients are spread out into a form of sap, what we call sap, which is spread out throughout the tree. Now because of the presence of this sap, so long as the sap is alive or wet, or the sap is alive, or potential, is going to give rise to seed, potentiality of growth to another tree in the form of seed. Because of the sap, it will give rise to fruit, from fruit to seed. And from the seed, if you sow the seed, and with proper nutriments and proper soil conditions and weather conditions, it will give rise to a new tree. So, the sap of the tree, the sap which is spread out throughout the tree, can be compared to kilesa vata, the round of defilements. Because of the sap of the tree, because of the round of defilements, you are led to actions, the round of actions, Dhamma vata. That is the fruit or seed, which has the potentiality of growth to a new tree. And vipaka can be compared to a new tree, or a new tree can be compared to vipaka, round of results. Because a new tree results from the seed, when you sow the seed into the soil. So if you compare it this way, you become convinced about the triple round. Let us see who is creating or causing this sap to arise, to spread out in the whole tree. Or who is causing this Avijja, Tanha, Upadana sap, or the sap of Avijja, Tanha, Upadana, to spread out throughout the beings, the living beings. Now we know that a tree grows under the conditions of soil, air, oxygen from the air, and sunlight, water, and so on. These are the nutriments which give rise to the sap, which causes the sap to happen, to develop in the tree. So, this kilesa vata sap, the round of defilement, the sap of the round of defilement, which is made up of Avijja, Tanha, Upadana, ignorance, craving, and clinging, have been with us all along our lifetimes. We are developing it, multiplying it, breeding it, nurturing it. In what way? By way of the sense of pleasures of human being, sense of pleasures of the human realm, sense of pleasures of the Deva realm, and the jhanic pleasure, the pleasure of jhanic absorption of Brahma, fine material, fine immaterial worlds. Such are the conditions how the sap is developed and multiplied and spread and nurtured, wishing to enjoy good things, wishing to see good things, hear good things and so on. All these sense of pleasures are the set, or cause the set to arise. So too, like in a tree. So long as you feed the tree with nutriments, the tree is bound to grow. If you don't want the tree, you have to fell the tree. Of course, environmentalists won't like felling trees. They want the trees to grow. But let us say, for the sake of example, if you don't want the tree, you kill the tree, you cut off the tree. You make an effort by yoga, systematically, in order to cut off this tree, kill the tree, fell the tree. So too, the yogis practice the Vipassana practice to cultivate insight knowledge in order to dry up the set of Avijja, Tanha, Upadana. In ordinary sense, in ordinary life, there are sense impressions, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching. Ordinary way, in ordinary sense, just seeing, hearing, tasting will not give rise to kusala, akusala. They are neutral. They are neither good nor bad. They are the result of past karma, as it says in Abhidhamma. So these, every time such things happen, in ordinary sense, there's bound to be feeling as a result of these sense impressions. If you are seeing good things, you will feel good, you will feel pleasant. Especially if you take interest, you see something interesting, or if you hear something interesting, you feel good. This is a good sukha virana, pleasant feeling. And if you see something bad, you will feel bad. You don't feel good. This is dukkha virana, painful sensation, unpleasant sensation. And in between the two is a neutral sensation. There's no feeling, no good or bad feeling. It's just neutral. They're always there. So when you have good sense impressions, like seeing something good things, pleasurable things, you want to see better and better, or more and more pleasurable things. You want to enjoy better and better. And if you experience bad things, bad objects, you long for better, good ones, instead of bad ones. That again leads to tanha, craving. And if you feel neutral, if the feeling is neutral, it is very subtle, gentle, and very calming effect. Especially the yogis would experience this, especially when they reach the higher stages of insight knowledge. It becomes very obvious. So when they feel this neutral feeling, calm feeling, they want to be more and more calm, more and more tranquil. They think it's a good feeling. So they want to experience this better and better feeling. That also leads to tanha in a subtle way. So if this happens in ordinary, this craving will happen to ordinary people and those people who are not practicing meticulously, noting every arising with the practice with the method of satipatthana. And even if one practices, one is not doing well, and such feelings will lead to craving. So you will crave better and better. This will lead to new existences, because you crave for existences. You crave for sense expressions. So this will be discussed tomorrow. Sa